Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's been a while since I've been here, and I just wanted to say hello. Thank you for the patience of waiting for me to return. I have been working on quite a few things, and we're just gonna dive into what I've been working on. That way you guys are up to speed. So if you follow me on TikTok, then you know that I'm currently working on a book. It is a fantasy novel. I think I've talked about it on here before, but I haven't chatted with you guys in a while, so we're gonna dive in. So far I've got the lore book worked on severely. That's the entire story, by the way. I have it plotted out kind of like this. These are all the questions from part 1. These are chapters 1 through 7 for part 1, and then I started part 2. And then this is the final pieces of part 2. Like I said, I've got a lot going into this book. It is a fantasy book. There's even more back here. Just like, there's a lot, okay? And then I do also have, and I will be making one of these for every book that I make, I think, from here on out. They're probably not all gonna be this big because this is for a fantasy book, and this is like the lore book, and I figure I'll do a lore book for every book that I make, whether it's fantasy, romance, psychological, thriller, whatever it is, it's gonna have a lore book. Whether or not the lore books ever get to be seen by other people, that's the question. But here's even more of the fantasy stuff, and then I've got the first part finished. I'm up to like 31,000 words, and I'm gonna try and write some more on it today. My goal was to be at like 50,000 words by today, but I'm not there. I'm like 20,000 short, which is fine because I'm still moving at a pretty decent speed. Okay, so yes, that is what I've got going on as far as writing. I've got about 9 or 10 books on the back burner, so as soon as I finish with this one, I'm going to start one of those. What's going to happen is I'm going to finish the first rough draft, go ahead and do an edit, have 2 or 3 other people go through, read through, edit it, and work with that, and then I'm going to turn around and start on some other books. Now, speaking of books, I did recently fall back in love with reading, as you can tell. Those are all the classic ones up there. These are all the classic collection. I just keep them up there. But these are the books that I got last year. And technically I say last year, but this year. I'm still uploading this before New Year's. So, to start off, I got another copy of Harry Potter. This is The Philosopher's Stone. I've started annotating severely. And I've read this book so many times. That's the only reason why I haven't finished it. I've only gotten like this far into it. Is because this time it's kind of just like breaking it down. Not just from a reader's point of view, but from a writer's point of view, and seeing exactly how Rowling did what she did. I don't know her as a person, but I think that she created a masterpiece. And I mean, well, not really, there's a lot of flaws to Harry Potter, but there's flaws to everything. And I think that that makes it more human, more enjoyable in a way, I guess. But these are the other books, so we're just going to start in and just dive through. I will not do full reviews here. I actually have a blog that I will be doing full reviews on. I will put that blog down below for my website for you guys to keep up. That blog is going to have everything book related, everything writing related, everything related to anything that has to do with my business stuff. So I will be updating that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've already got it scheduled out for like six, 7 posts, and all of these books are going to be going to add on to that. So let's get into it. We started with It Ends With Us. This book and me have cried together. We have been through it, okay? And I did tab a little bit, and I was starting to learn different types of tabs at this point, I guess. And I know that sounds so weird for me to just like randomly start talking about tabs, but that's sort of how it went. But this book was, to me, it was phenomenal. I know a lot of people there's like a lot of mixed feelings around Colleen Hoover and her books, but I think that from my perspective, in my opinion, I genuinely like most of her books. Take in mind I said most. I do have a few books on the list that I couldn't even finish, and I'll admit that. So this was a 10 out of 10 for me. I'm sorry if you guys don't like this book. As somebody who has broken generational trauma in her life, this book is everything. Like, it is there. It is it for me, at least. And I haven't read the next one yet, but I'm going to. Come at me. And then there was this beauty, If I Stay. listen, you guys, Chloe Grace Moretz was a crush of mine while I was growing up. And then I started watching movies and started reading more. And then I realized that this book that I originally read in middle school was the same story as the movie that I watched in high school. And I didn't realize it at first because I'm like that. But I got this book here recently again. And I was like, because it's like, I know you, I love you, and I hate you. But I love that book. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. The author, by the way, is Gail Forman. They also have another review. Where She Went was the second one. And then they also have a few, it's literally right there. Sweepingly Romantic Duets. I could not read. Welcome to the life of a writer. Slammed by Colleen Hoover. This book and me, I love it, but I hate it. I hate it, but I love it. I wish I could read it again, but I also wish I never got introduced to it. Because it is, the storyline, the poetry, I don't like slam poetry myself, and that is another thing. If you do not like slam poetry, this book is not for you. But I don't mind slam poetry. I prefer performed slammed poetry, because then you can really tell what the poet is meaning to fully articulate. And I don't know, but to me, like, reading it in a book doesn't always do it justice. So I don't really like the idea of, like, slam poetry in books, if that makes sense. Like, for the characters to be doing it. I have not finished this book. You see that? You see that? I have not. I am on page 65. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. It's so, I don't know how to fully explain what it was. I think it was like the introduction to the love interest was a red flag, and then just all of it after that was just like continuous red flags, and then like, I've never met an asshole pilot. I don't understand. Okay, let's see. And then that is all the books that I have got and read that are not being loaned out to people, I guess, because I have more books. And then these are the 3 books that I've recently purchased that I am starting. So we're going to start off with the top one. That is the Inheritance Games. I never read it. Don't know it. But I'm gonna. So I've got, yes, this one, which is by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is on my to-be-read list. I've got the Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I'm doing them so dirty and I'm so sorry. But Six of Crows, that is also on my to-be-read list because I have yet to read it. And then what I'm currently reading, which is the most... Okay, so this book right here where the crawdads sing. So, my Gammy, pause, culture moment. So, this is my Gammy, and she has been gone for a while now. But I love her, and I'm gonna tear up. Jesus, I'm shaking. Hang on. So, she was a really big part of my life growing up because my biological mom wasn't mentally able to at the time, I guess I should say, to be biased about it. And so my Gammy stepped in, and she took care of us, and she taught us, and she raised us, and she taught us the ways of the Cherokee Indians, and she also taught us the ways of the hoodoo workers in New Orleans, and she taught us the ways of New Orleans because that's where she was from, and she taught us all these beautiful cultures as she took us down there. And this book reminds me of her, and that's so sad because every time that I pick it up I wind up crying. I'm literally only on page 17. I've had it for like a few days now, and it's like every time that I just pick it up I just like start like it's like just holding it. I'm just like the way the character talks and the way she acts in the beginning, it's very Gammy, and it fucked with me, I'm not gonna lie, at first, and I was just like, I'm a reacher. But yes, those are the books that I have read, and the reviews for them, the full reviews for them will be up on my website, which is gonna be in the link below. That way you guys can just go there. I've got Reflections still up on Amazon, which is my only recent published book. I said my only recent published book. And I'm actually doing a giveaway on my TikTok channel. So you guys should go check out my TikTok. I'll put that down in the description below if I can figure out how to upload this, if YouTube lets me. Mwah.